Warhammer Dawn of War 3 arrived in spring last year and it didn't really go down that well with fans. The game was trying to be as much a MOBA as a traditional RTS and it just didn't find its audience. And now it's actually being dropped by its publisher. Let's get on with the gaming news roundup.
Relic Entertainment, the developers behind the Dawn of War and Company of Heroes franchises, has announced it will be dropping support for Dawn of War 3. Dawn of War 3 launched in April 2017 to mixed reviews after fans of the series were put off by the MOBA-style gameplay mechanics, and the game subsequently failed to attract a large audience. Relic said Dawn of War 3 failed to hit the targets they were expecting at launch, and the game hasn't performed as well as they'd hoped since then. The game managed to maintain a small but dedicated player base, but unfortunately, Relic say the player count is just too small to justify further development. In a statement to Eurogamer, Relic said, quote, "With Dawn of War 3, we simply don't have the foundation we need to produce major content. We're working in close partnership with Sega and Games Workshop to determine the best course of action while shifting focus to other projects within our portfolio." In the meantime, Relic said they are working on the recently announced Age of Empires 4 for Microsoft and another currently unannounced project.
So we did do quite a bit of coverage of Dawn of War 3 when that came out, obviously. Didn't help. I thought it was okay when I first played it. It was alright, it didn't really grab me or anything. I was a big fan of the Dawn of War series and Relic games in general. I really like Company of Heroes. There was something a bit missing there. It felt a little bit hollow in some ways, and that's because they tried to make it this hybrid of a MOBA, which is like Dota 2 and League of Legends and all that. They tried to get too much of that into it rather than old school kind of RTS, and obviously it just didn't really resonate with people. So, you know, it's less than a year and they're already shutting the doors on it really because there's no one playing it, which is completely the opposite to Dawn of War and Dawn of War 2, which came before it. They were very popular for a long time afterwards, like regularly on sale on Steam and stuff. They've always had this kind of community vibe of at least somebody still playing it, and you know, it's obviously not happening with Dawn of War 3.
Turn a negative into a positive. They've learned a lesson from this, and it probably means Age of Empires 4 isn't going to be that kind of MOBA-style, Dota-esque Dawn of War experience.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, which, you know, if this was really good, maybe they would have been like, hey, let's do that again. But now that they've tried this and it failed, we can probably count on Age of Empires 4 at least being a little bit more old school than this, so that's good.
And in other news, some of the guys behind PC classic series Stalker are making a Battle Royale game. Of course they are. Everyone is. Fear the Wolves is the new title from developer Vostok Games, a team made up of developers who had worked on the FPS RPG series Stalker. Like Stalker, the game takes place in the irradiated wasteland of Chernobyl, but unlike Stalker, it has 100 players fighting to the death. It can be played solo or in squads, and there will be hostile NPCs which will attack players during the game. Fear the Wolves will be released sometime this year for PC in early access, with a console version coming at a later date. Apart from their work on the Stalker series, Vostok are also known for their previous games Survarium, a Stalker-like free-to-play online game which is in early access right now. Stalker is a real kind of hardcore PC favourite.
It's one of those games that doesn't seem to die, like Vampires the Masquerade. It'll be modded and modded and modded. Doesn't matter how many years it's going to be. Say to somebody, what PC games do I need to check out? Someone's going to say Stalker. So even though the Battle Royale market seems like well oversaturated already, and even this news to some people will be eye-roll inducing, knowing it's from the Stalker devs might put a nice fresh perspective on it, which is a decent thing. Also this week, mega corporation Google are reportedly looking into building a game streaming service codenamed Project Yeti. Yeti will possibly be a subscription-based service which will run on Chromecast devices or a console which Google may be working on. Apparently the project is connected to Google's recent hiring of Phil Harrison, a long-time veteran of the games industry who has worked at both Microsoft and Sony, where he ran first-party development studios and held executive roles. Google have slowly been making moves into the games industry, such as buying developer Alchemy Studios to make VR games and improving the Android store to spotlight indie games and developers. If the rumour is true, then Project Yeti will join other game streaming services like Jump, PlayStation Now and GeForce Now in the expanding streaming market.
Which way do you think this is going to go? Because I think a company like Google trying to do a streaming service, it shows that there's obviously something in there that's telling like business leaders and people at the top that game streaming might be great. It's not appealing to me as a person who is just like on the ground level who'd use it, but obviously there's something motivating these companies to do it. PlayStation's put all its eggs in that basket when it comes to backwards compatibility pretty much, unless you want to buy it from the PlayStation Store. You've got to stream your old PlayStation 3 games if you want to play them at all on the PS4. Yeah. They obviously think there's some appeal there. I don't know which way it's going to go. I don't know if it's just going to end up as a dead end, or eventually someone will come along, like maybe Google, break through and just do a really good job of it and be really popular.
You think you're spot on with this, because Google's such a massive company. There's not just like a whimsical idea that can get through to being made. This has to go go through people and people and people. So they must see something in it. Maybe this is that games as a service model we're seeing. Maybe they're trying to make the Netflix of games. But the thing with this is, loads of companies struggle with server space and all that. Google is f***ing Google. They own YouTube, man. The amount of space that they've got is like huge. If anyone's going to pull it off and make it massive, like a big colossus, like Netflix style thing, it could be Google. Yeah. And, you know, to make it a bit of a difference from them investing in like flying cars or in whatever they're doing, hot air balloons with the internet on it or whatever. I think that's something they're actually doing.
Probably.
Look it up.
It sounds right.
They're doing this. So yeah, the fact that they're involved is interesting. So Project Yeti could be awesome. Just could be shit though too, couldn't it?
Top analysis from both of us there. Could be interesting, but we're warning you, could also be shit maybe. Shit. And during an investors call this week, Rockstar parent company and publisher Take-Two said it's confident that Red Dead Redemption 2 will not be delayed again. In the call, Take-Two CEO Strauss Woodchopper Zelnick said the publisher is confident the upcoming Western sequel, which, reminder, was delayed for a second time this week, will not face any further delays. The company expects the game to meet its new release date on October the 26th. Zelnick also announced, by the way, that GTA Online had its best month ever in December 2017, and GTA 5 has now sold 90 million units worldwide. This means GTA 5 has sold another 5 million units since November 2017, when Take-Two announced that the game had shipped 85 million units. The firm also revealed that recurrent consumer spending, which means microtransactions, DLC and add-on content, grew 64% year on year and accounted for 32% of total net revenue.
Just chill out. Stop buying this game. Yeah. What else from 2013's never popped off like it did in December 2017? Nothing. It's
5 million units.
It's so mad.
In a month.
As for Red Dead, they're confident. You know, they put out the release date twice. They must have been confident enough to do that. They can't delay it anymore. Surely not. I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying, to be honest.
Say that.
Elsewhere in the news, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is, of course, one of the most popular games around right now, with player numbers constantly growing since launch until now. According to Steam tracker website Steam Charts, for the first time since March 2017, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds registered a decline of 1.74%, which translates to roughly 27,000 players. So, what caused the drop in players? Well, it could be the fact that the game is now being officially localized in China by Tencent, and according to Steam Spy, the game's growth in China stopped at the end of January. Or it could be the recent rollout of their new anti-cheat software, and the drop in players might be cheaters who have been banned. Or it could be that Fortnite now exists and more people are getting onto that over Christmas. Or it could be that people are getting tired of it. Or it could be that people are sick of getting their wall hacked, little faces blown off. Loads of things. The game's been out for nearly a year now, and fatigue could be settling in. I don't want to be like one of them, oh, it's all over for Battlegrounds. But, I mean, it could genuinely just be people are getting bored of it. You haven't logged in for a while, neither have I.
No.
There we go. Two people in this room, 100% of this room, bored of it now. Fact. That's how facts work, isn't it?
Yeah, that is science.
That's
basically science. I think one of the most interesting things about Battlegrounds, the reason that people keep talking about it so much, is because when you look at the graph, you look at the charts after it came out, it's going up. It's always going up. It's just like this line that's going, thanks Jake, it's just going upwards, yeah? Whereas most games, they'll have a spike at the beginning, then go down, or it'll be kind of very, very even, very steady decline over a long time. That's not been the case with Battlegrounds at all. And then now that the game is out, now that it has launched, that is when it started to slow down, and it hasn't like plummeted, it hasn't dropped off or anything. It's only like a matter of 1 or 2% that it's fallen, but it is a fall, and it's the first time that it has fallen. The growth was slowing down around November, October, if I can remember rightly. It was just coming to a little bit of a steady, kind of steadying off a little bit in terms of the explosive growth it was having last year. Now it's finally starting to drop. There's loads of reasons why that could be, and they're probably all playing some part. If they have literally banned 2.5 million accounts, then they're gone. They can't count towards the player numbers anymore. If people are getting bored of it, then they're gone. If people are playing Fortnite, which is a finished kind of, well, it's not finished, but it's very polished and it's kind of, a good product that is free, that might be a better alternative because they might be sick of Battlegrounds. You
know what, you just brought up a well good point, and I know you just said then, Fortnite isn't finished, but it's polished. A lot of people were playing Battlegrounds because they were going, oh, I can't wait to see what's coming out next when the game fully launches. That was a carrot on a stick. And now the game is out in the open, and people played the desert map. And a lot of people think it's quite shit.
They deleted their files because they thought it was
exactly, but with Fortnite, it's still getting made, so people might be playing that thinking, I'm going to get good at this. So then when this feature comes in, I don't know, it was just a good point that it made me think of that. So
cheers. And finally this week, a man in Zhejiang province, China, lost all feeling in his legs after a marathon 20-hour gaming session. According to Chinese website QQ, the man was playing games at an internet cafe and didn't take a single break over the course of 20 hours. When he did finally stop for a rest, he tried to get up and use the restroom, only to discover he was unable to move from the waist down. The man's friends had to call an ambulance, and when the paramedics arrived to take him to hospital, he was carried out on a stretcher, insisting that he wanted to finish his game. You think you're dedicated? Have you ever paralysed yourself from the waist down playing games?
Big man.
Probably not.
What game was he playing? I want to know.
What is that good? I bet you it was shit. I bet you it was something bad.
Yeah, like a mobile game.
It always is.
You might not even be that good at the game as well. It's all for nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I need more on this story. If only I wasn't the one supposed to be giving you the news. But I mean, it's a good little story. But it's just to see it asks more questions than it answers for me. What was he playing? Is he even a good player?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, why the hell was he playing for 20 hours straight without a break? Innit?
Is he a hero or just a loser?
Well,
that's for you guys.
I don't have to be punching down because the guy couldn't. He had to be stretchered away, so you don't want to be calling that guy a loser.
We don't know what's happened to him.
He's in hospital, lying in a bed, playing games.
Just what he was doing before he was in hospital. Yeah. I don't know about this one. This is sick. This story's well good.
I thought you were going to go bad. This is sick. This is awful. Why are we condoning this kind of self-flagellation?
This is a mad story. This is a good one.
Jake approves.
Best story of the week. That's what I'm saying. Sorry. Derailed this Sunday show, haven't I?
So there was a selection of gaming news stories for you there. What caught your eye in the news this week? Let us know what it was down in the comments below. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this every day. Now there's another video right there which you can watch right now if you want, and the link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. See you next time.